The next time you tell someone that you're a wrestling fan and they tell you that wrestling is fake, here's how you should respond.
All that fake, but this ass whooping ain't gonna be fake. Get that on Facebook. Tell them about that. Tell them that. Tell them about that. Show them that. Show them that. Facebook that. The gang go, huh? No, we're gonna eat last night too, huh? Raise your hand, I'm gonna stomp your motherfucking ass.
Okay, hi there everybody, this is the Shadow Ranger, and this video may be the first in a series. I'm gonna call this After Immortal #1, the Hardy Boys versus Generation Me. This is my idea for a feud between Hardys and Generation Me. Obviously, it will. If you watch my last video where I was mentioning my sort of debating the host of Wrestling News Live on, they believe that Matt Hardy should have come in as a face and feuded with Jeff to bring Jeff back to good, and I believe that Matt and Jeff will work better in TNA if they're both heels for a while, that you should eventually build up to a big match of Matt and Jeff versus the Machine Guns. Check the details on my last video to get all the details on that, and I'll put the link in the description box. But something I've been thinking about for last month or so is, what does TNA do after Immortal? Immortals, this storyline, we're pretty sure is going to end with Dixie Carter getting control of the company back, defeating Immortal. Immortal was created to be destroyed. And I think that after, when that, on the pay-per-view where that storyline ends, which I think should be Slammiversary, you need to start over completely fresh storylines and feuds after. Excuse me. Sorry. You need to start with completely fresh storylines and feuds afterwards. So I've been thinking for a while of what are some new feuds you could do. Probably debut some new people, some fresh faces, but I think that once Immortal's over, afterwards you have to be ready with all new fresh feuds, fresh storylines. And with Matt Hardy showing up, I'm thinking Hardy Boys versus Generation Me. This is going to turn the Hardy Boys back to baby faces. Even though I think it's better that they're heels, I like seeing them as heels, and I think there's more potential. Everyone else seems to disagree with me, saying no, they should both be faces. So leave them as heels, do the feud with Machine Guns, and this feud with Generation Me is going to turn them back to babyface. I'm just going to go through what I have so far, and if I want to add more to this storyline, I will come back and tell it. So the Immortal storyline comes to a head at Slammiversary. Dixie has the company back. AJ's the hero. All is well. A couple of weeks later, the Hardy Boys return to Impact. They have a match. We'll stay against Ink Inc. Now, since Shannon Moore's their friend and all, they win the match. They leave. A little later in the night, we have Mike Tenay there saying, we're getting word of something going on in the back. We got a camera. Let's see what's going on. And we cut to a shot in the back of the Hardy Boys knocked out. And EMTs and trainers are around them, checking on them. Just trying to make sure they're okay and taking them to a hospital. The next week, we have a phone call with the Hardys. Or you're talking to them via satellite, however you want to do it. And they ask what happened, who attacked you, and they say, we don't know. We were backstage and we got hit from behind. We didn't see who it was. You know, we got hit. Next thing you know, we wake up surrounded by EMTs checking on us. But they say, but we are going to be at the Impact Zone next week, and we're going to find out who attacked us. So the next week, we open up Impact with Mike Tenay saying, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news as we come on the air. Just about 15 minutes ago, Matt and Jeff Hardy were found laid out in the back. It looks like they've been attacked again. Whoever it was, we can only assume that whoever it was that attacked them 2 weeks ago has attacked them again. You get on with the show. So we'll keep you updated. You get on to the show, and about halfway through the show, maybe around in the second hour, Matt and Jeff come to the ring. They're selling their injuries. They're beat up. They come to the ring. They get on the mic and they say, "We don't know who this is been attacking us, but whoever you are, get out here. What is this all about? You obviously got a problem with us, so come, whoever you are, come to the ring and let's settle this." The lights go out. When the lights come on, Generation Me is in the ring. They have weapons and they beat the holy shit out of Matt and Jeff. Bust them up good. Throw the weapons down and walk off. Next week, Hardys come out. They call out Generation Me. They say, "Get out here. Let's settle this right now." Generation Me doesn't come out, but they appear on the big screen. And they say, "What's this?" And they say, "You want to know what this is all about? So we'll give you the answers." And basically, what Generation Me says is, "We want you gone. We've been a team for years, and from the moment we broke into wrestling, people have been comparing us to you. They've called us Hardy Boy ripoffs, Hardy Boys light, Hardy Boy wannabes, and we're sick and tired of it. And we've been hearing the talk of the guys in the back and in the geeks on Twitter saying that, oh, we're gonna get fired now. TNA doesn't need us because they got the real Hardy Boys. They don't need you. They don't need us. Calling us imposters and posers. And we're sick of it. We're sick of all of the fact that we've been compared to you two for years. It's no coincidence that since Matt showed up, we've been on TV less. It's no coincidence that since Matt showed up, our paychecks have been lighter. It's no coincidence that since Matt showed up, we haven't gotten a tag title match. And you do it. You make sure you don't have them on GenMe on TV as much leading up to this, and don't make sure they don't have any tag title matches leading up to this. And basically, what you do is you just have them just trash the Hardys, run them down, talking about how they're sick of being compared to you, so we're gonna take you out. They have them call say stuff like, it's not about the Hardys anymore. It's about me. It's about Generation Me. You see, you look at us and see what you used to be. We remind you of how great you two used to be. The truth is, we're gonna prove that we're better than you, and that you two, that we're not Hardy Boy wannabes. The Hardy Boys are Gen Me wannabes, right? So they challenge you for a match at the next pay-per-view. I'm thinking, what was it? Victory Road, Hard Justice. Have them say something like, if you two, call them old, call them washed up. They say the Hardys are old, they're washed up, they're has-beens. Just lay it on thick and tell them, have them say like, if you two has-beens have the guts to show up at Hard Justice, we'll put you in a retirement home where you belong. And then that's it. Next week, Gen Me shows up. They have a match. Again, just get some jobber tag team for them to beat. And what you do is afterwards, the Hardy Boys attack them. They're fighting. Security breaks them up, and then Dixie Carter or whoever's going to be the on-screen authority figure now, because I would rather it not be Dixie Carter because she's really not that good on the mic. Whoever the on-screen authority figure is now comes out and says, we're not going to have you two going after each other and swinging chairs. So I'm going to say right now, you two, we signed the match for Hard Justice, and you two teams are not to touch each other. If either one of you lays a hand on the other team unless physically provoked, you're gonna be suspended for 6 months. So now Hardys can't touch Gen Me can't touch the Hardys. So what does Gen Me do? They get their heat by mocking the Hardys, imitating them, right? So like when Gen Me comes out for their match the next week, they invite the Hardys to come down. They say they invited to watch their match, and you just get some jobber tag team from the indies to throw in there to job to Gen Me. And what you do is you have Gen Me come out dressed like the Hardy Boys, like some old school Hardy Boys gear, kind of like the stuff they used to wear when they were with Michael Hayes. And the point is, they're making fun of the Hardys, and then have them do some of the Hardys moves in the ring, like have them do like Poetry in Motion and Twist of Fate and Swanton, just to piss them off. Like they're mocking the Hardy Boys and talking shit about them. So you do the first match at Hard Justice, and you have the Gen Me win by outside interference. And the person who interferes to help Gen Me win, Lita. Imagine the heat they could get if Lita showed up, hits a low blow on Matt Hardy to help so Gen Me can get the pin, and she kind of pals around with Gen Me for a little while. Considering what we know about the real life of what happened between Matt and Lita and stuff, that'll get them heated. That is, she's there in TNA, she's hanging out with Generation Me just despite the Hardy Boys, and let it go for a while. You know, I think a Hardy Boys Generation Me feud, it accomplishes turning the Hardy Boys back to baby faces, since apparently everybody except me wants them as baby faces. You keep them out of the world title scene, because a lot of people think that they're both just going to be in the world title scene, because everybody expects that either Jeff's going to get the world title back so quick, and I've even heard people say they think Anderson's going to drop the world title to Matt Hardy on the very next pay-per-view, and that would suck. I wouldn't want that to happen. You can have some other faces in the world title picture. There's other people who you work on elevating. You know, I like to see Joe back in the world title picture to go against Anderson, Matt Morgan, Ron Van Dam, AJ Styles. You got plenty of people to work the world title picture. This feud, it helps build up Generation Me. It lets people see the Hardys together again. Hardy Boys fans get to see the Hardys tagging together again. I think a lot of people would love to see a Hardy Boys Generation Me match. I think, like I said, with Hardys and Machine Guns, if you ask fans, any wrestling fans on any message board or the chat room of any wrestling radio show, to name some dream tag team matches they'd like to see, I bet almost all of them would probably say Hardy Boys Gen Me. So, and with with this feud, you know, they could feud for a very long time. I mean, this is just I'm making this video just because I'm just now thinking about it, but I'll take some time and sort of plan the whole feud out piece by piece and do a more detailed video later. But I don't think it would be difficult to come up with 2, 3, 4 months, maybe even longer, of Generation Me feuding with the Hardy Boys. And in the end, you just have the Hardys, the veteran team. They made Jimmy look good, but they get the big win in the end. I just think it would work. I think it would help establish Gen Me, build them up, make them more important. I think the Hardys could give them a good rub and make them a more relevant tag team. I think the matches would be very good. You know, it further solidifies that TNA has the best tag team division in wrestling. I think it's wins all around. And then once you have Gen Me as these well built up heels, this feud has built Generation Me up as heels even more. Now they finally get their run with the tag team titles, and now you have a new heel team that everybody's booing as your new tag team champions down the road, and you can eventually bring the Hardy Boys back to win the belts from them if you want to, or build up a new babyface tag team to take them down. Because after they do this feud, they're going to be built up great, because Matt and Jeff are going to, you know, Matt and Jeff have their faults, but they do what's right for business. If you go in there and tell Matt and Jeff, I want you to make this, want you guys to build this young team up and make them look good and help get them more over, they'll do what's right for business. So, wow, I'm at 12 minutes, almost at 13 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here. Again, Hardy Boys versus Generation Me. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think of this as a potential feud. If you like my videos, please subscribe and follow me on Twitter at TJSMITH3. This is the Shadow Ranger. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.